Okay, this is how the packs start off. And now I'm going to show you how I change them from a 5-cell pack to a 6-cell pack to give me 24 volts. This is how I'm wiring up the packs to change them from 20 volts to 24 volts. And all I do is I take the end one, which I've shown you earlier, and I bring it round in line with these, and then I add another one, link it from pos to neg, and then the link that I took off from this one I reconnect back to the positive on the new one, and then I tape it up. I also solder in 2 wires, a red one and a black one, and these 2 are for the LED fuse blown indicator, which I'll show you in a minute actually working. These cells I find are absolutely brilliant, and if you go find out where your medical lithium ion cells are being dumped, you know, when they change them out, because they're changed out quite frequently to keep the equipment ready to go at a moment's notice. Okay, so that's how I'm wiring it up, and each one then is wrapped in parcel tape, and the you'll see later the LED board is then hot glued on top and the 2 wires wired to it. Okay, I'll now show you the BlownFuse indicator actually working. Now I'm going to show you with a dead short on the output first. That's a dead short using a piece of solder. Okay, so if there's a dead short, it will illuminate. Having, oops, sorry, I do apologise. I forgot to show you what happens when the fuse is reinstated. And when the fuse is okay, so that was the shorted link. Now that's a 3K load. It's a 3K resistor in there, 3000 ohms. So it doesn't matter with the fuse intact, and something happens, the fuse blows and the indicator comes back on, and that is with a 3K resistive load. So it doesn't matter whether it's a short circuit or the fuse blows because of too much current been drawn, and then the load drops off. You'll still be able to see that the fuse has blown, and you'll then know which pack to take out, swap, so that you can repair the damage or replace. In between these 2 packs there's only linking wires, so I'm not going to go right through. I'm just scouring the top of the plastic, and now, yes, I know I shouldn't do it this way, but it's the only way I can hold the pack. That's one side. And I'm making sure that I'm working in between the packs, in between the cells, sorry, so that I'm not connecting with any of the electronics in the BMS boards or the cells themselves. Right, we've gone all the way around. Now at the end, get this in camera, I go down across the bottom to the edge, and then what I do at the edge is I find the end of the cut that I've just made, bring the knife over and slip it back, and that will cut the outer plastic without cutting the inner. And then I simply get a screwdriver. It says simply, and push it in and rip the plastic off along the line so that I can then take the plastic off, and that's what we have. What this is double-sided tape, just to protect the top of the cells. For industrial purposes, you know, in hospitals they have to go to the extreme of safety. I don't, so I take them off so that I can work, and I just then cover it up with the parcel tape. So now all I do is get my screwdriver into the negative end of this cell and literally just ease it off, and because I'm showing this on camera, it decides it wants to stay put, and this comes off ever so easy. Not too much trouble at all. And then same on this one. I mean, I've done so many of these now that it's second nature. Still on camera, yes. And they're relatively easy to do, and then you simply oik it off like that, and we're like flint, as Dave would say on an EV blog. Right, the next thing to do is switch on my soldering iron powered by solar from my Tesla battery. Yes, I'll show you all that at a later date. At the moment I'm concentrating on the different things. I just spotted a company name which I have been asked to scribble out, and I hadn't done on this one, but I've done it now. Okay, yep, we'll go. It's only taken this time because I didn't give it time to warm up properly. All we do is we pull this link out of the way, because we'll be reconnecting that at a later date. Now, this glue can be quite hard. Sometimes it falls out on this side, sometimes it tears the plastic off the cell. Don't have to worry about that, because that is fixable. It's done that side okay, and I think for a change Yep, it's done that side. Oh no, I took a piece out the bottom. Right, and cut down through the double-sided tape. And then this one is literally like so. And again down through the double-sided tape. Straighten the fuse out a little bit to give us a bit of length. Get rid of the double-sided tape. Yeah. Glue gun fired up. The beauty with my glue gun now is that I can fire it up, turn it off and use it for quite a while, because it's got a 3D printer heater in there to work off 24 volts. Of course it would help if I plugged it in, wouldn't it? There we go. I'll stick my dot one up. Now where we've taken the plastic off, all I do is just put some hot glue across it, and then here's another cell to add to make up the 6 cells, 24 volts. Now I've turned the glue gun off, and I can do quite a few joints, glue ups, just because if I leave it on too long it starts to boil the glue instead of melting it. So in a sense it saves me a bit of juice in the Tesla battery. That's the pack glued up with the 6 cell in place. We put the cell this way round so that it follows from one to the other all the way around. And then it's just a simple case of getting the positive wire and a bit of solder when I can find my solder. Funny solder stuff. And hook it up to the positive. And just lay it down so it's nice and neat. Now what we do is we make a link from here to this positive here. Tell you what, it's bloody good to be back. In fact, it's freaking great. out here in my lab. Later on I'll give you a tour of the lab. Well, I say a tour, I mean I can, if I stretch my arms out, I can touch the back wall and the door. So it's not exactly a small lab, a big lab rather. Okay. Then what we do, we put the BlownFuse wires in on either end of the fuse. It doesn't really need to be thick cable. This is just what I had lying around. The red goes on to the negative of this cell when I get enough solder, that is. Like that. And then what I do is I measure it down to there and then cut it off, and then the black goes on the other end. I suppose I should have had all these cut ready, but not as much fun that way, is it? I keep forgetting to look in the camera to see where I am, so if I wander off I do apologise. Now that's that. Now all I use is parcel tape, this stuff. Now the thought is to go straight across like that, but I don't. I catch the cable behind the tape on an angle, make sure the cable comes down, and then I go across. You'll see why in a moment. Okay, and then with my thumb on this, so that it doesn't come back at me, I just pull that tight and down there like that. And then this one, I do the same thing, but in the opposite direction. Okay, the reason for that is that when I pull these up to connect to the board on the top, I'm not leaving a big open hole for stuff to drop into the cell pack. And all I do here is simply across like that. then on the end. What I do here, I bring the sides in like that, then I fold that one down, and then push that down, because when I put the tape around, that'll all be held in by it. Right, now this end, because I've been finding that sometimes these leads are too short to get across to the connector board, what I now have to do is just pull these apart because they go off in those directions. Get my cutters under the plastic, making sure I don't cut the wires. Tuck the double-sided tape back in, and then that gives me plenty of to get over to the connections. Okay, so now excuse me, we tape up the pack. A bit typical, on video and I run out of tape. But not to worry, duct tape to the rescue. Let's start up here again. Make sure it's all nicely down tight. I don't cut it off level with where I've been, or the beginning. I come round to the end and chop it off so it goes around the corner out the way. Right, so there's the first modified pack.